You're inside. All about sports. It's Tega, Omasss, and Zibby. Good morning. Good. I don't know why I did that, but
I see you're happy. Good morning, everybody. I'm sure
all
it's
right.
Wimbledon
There
that's
is
making
a
you happy.
lady who is on the other side who is rebelling. Okay, the rebellion
It
has been
is.
squashed.
I am the one rebelling, Abby. All right. Good morning, everybody. Wimbledon starts today. I was hoping that was what your excitement was about, but apparently it's not. It's only US Open that you'll be liking. But yeah, Wimbledon starts today. And Alcaraz takes center court at some point, so we are waiting with for everybody with their all white. But before we talk about what happened in Wimbledon, this weekend was mad at the Euros. So we're going to touch on that. Also in Formula One, we've been telling people certain secrets. They didn't want to listen to us. They said, my bestie, my bestie. They were served breakfast yesterday. We'll talk about that again. Also, the NFF has collected the prize money from CAF for last year's AFCON. Now there's fight about sharing formula. I didn't say it too. I will tell you all that in the locker room this morning. But before we do all these gist, this hot
Yeah.
gist, Zibi, tell us, how can we be a part of the locker room this morning?
All right, you can send messages through via WhatsApp 0809 4440981. You can also tweet at smooth981. And we're streaming live on YouTube. Yes, we are. So you can catch that live stream. Hello, YouTube. On YouTube, it's smooth981. Just search for the channel, subscribe, and you can even post a comment on the live stream as well.
All right, Omas, can we have the headline so that we'll delve straight into the story? And I use delve deliberately.
Okay. On the bill this morning, AFCON 2023, $4 million US prize money. Super Eagles NFF disagree on sharing formula as Sports Minister Lords Amushon's clearance by CAS. There would also be the issue of senators. Okay, moving on to a little bit of desperate Norris fumes at Verstappen's move, as there would also be Southgate not ready to go home after England's late Euro heroics. And then there would be Spain come from behind to trash Georgia and reach Euro 2024 quarterfinals, as Tedesco wants Belgium to believe against France, as Spalletti to remain Italy's coach despite Euro 2024 humbling, as no mercy, no problem as Argentina down Peru, Canada advance.
All right, so we start with the glass house.
Are
CV,
you throwing
what's
stones?
really what's really going on there? We are going to throw stones this morning.
All right, now players of the Super Eagles and the leadership of the Nigeria Football Federation have yet to agree on how the $4 million prize money received from CAF for reaching the final of the AFCON will be shared. Sharing
All right,
formula.
so I'm telling you, I said sharing formula is now becoming the issue. So you know the prize money has been announced and CAF has paid their money, which is interesting. So CAF has sent the money to Nigeria. You know when CAF sends that money, there's still it's prize money, but there's still developmental fees inside. So all this one that they're sharing formula, we're waiting to see how they'll share it. But the last time Nigeria finished third at AFCON, they had a sharing formula where the players um, went away with about 30% of the prize money. And so this time around, we are hearing that, you know, the NFF is trying to tell cajole the players to collect 25%. They're like, in this band economy, people should be reviewing upwards. Yeah, you're not trying to. Do you understand?
Yeah.
We finished third. We got 30% of the loot. Now we
Okay.
finished second. You want to review downwards. It's not
Yeah.
upwards you'll be reviewing. So
Yeah.
there's still that negotiation going on. But it's the most interesting. I mean, it's 30%. Just give them. They didn't say they were taking all the money. Just give them their 30% for even
Yeah.
improved performance. Let them be going. So we're waiting to hear how all that will pan out. But eventually, this leads back to the fact that I've said it before: the NFF does not have money, and football is largely state sponsored. So this is different from the money that the presidency gave them to clear out all the backlog of salaries and all of that. This is different from that money. This is the money that they won at CAF. So it's not. It's ridiculous that they are trying to take a tithe from inside this money. Okay, tithe is 10%. They're trying to take half of tithe from inside the players' money. So wait to see how this will pan out, because this is still, right now, it's still hush hush. There are no open fights yet. Nobody has come out to yell or anything. But this is just the information reaching us from the chief editors that were privy to some of these meetings. So wait to see how this will be resolved. But yes, they want to review their salary downwards, even if the cost of living has gone up.
The irony.
Let's just hope some players are not ready to put out the ring light and once again go on the bass boost on social media. We are waiting. Keep our eyes
They
open.
shouldn't put our ring. They should just call our number. We will bring the ring light. No need. And we know the questions to ask.
All right. Now, the Honorable Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Owa Eno, expressed immense joy and relief on behalf of all sports-loving Nigerians following the clearance of Oluwatobi Loba Amushan by the Court of Arbitration for Sports, CAS.
So we know the issue with Toby, but in case you missed it, let me give you this rundown. So remember that time she was tagged for missing her 3 whereabouts tests, and you know, once you miss 3 whereabouts tests, it's an automatic 2-year ban. And so she had got, after she was notified that, you know, she had missed a 3 whereabouts doping test, and they're going to automatically ban her. They gave her an opportunity to defend her case, to make her case. So she went in there. She made her case that it was not really her fault. She put her new address there. It was the people that were going to the addresses that missed the update, and so she was cleared to compete. That's how, like I said it before, when she set that world record, Nigerians were ecstatic. Africans were happy. Corporate brands were jumping on her. What they did not know is that they had set a target mark on her back. And all the internationals who feel that their system have churned out better professionals were now upset. And so the people that took her case to court is not the IAAF themselves. It's a particular association of former athletes, which is led by largely American athletes. Those are the people that called for a review of her clearance. Exactly. So you just be jumping there, skipping and saying, "Oh, I did such a great thing," and people are looking at you like, "Why should you?" When we have nice people coming from our country that have not gone there,
and having people from that country being very notorious for actual doping and drug offenses.
They don't want to know. This girl came from nowhere and flew into the world record. We are going to search it. And so they asked for a review. That case was going on, which is why she'd been performing. But the fact that she was able to even perform under pressure, you know, she's trying to, as much as possible. If you catch her on track, yes, she was going to give you an interview. But as much as possible, she was trying to avoid any other distractions, any other thing that will put her even under more pressure. Bottom line is that the Olympics is around the corner. She's qualified for the Olympics, so she had to know if she was cleared. And CAS reviewed the case again, and they said, look, this girl is cleared. She did nothing wrong, so she can compete at the Olympics. So that was the big news, that she was cleared the first time. They brought up the case again, and now CAS has cleared her. Hopefully, the witch hunts will end and we can now enjoy our Olympics. But yes, officially, Toby has been cleared to go for the Olympics, and Nigerians are happy and Nigerians are grateful that that has happened. So we are already counting tentatively 1 medal in the 100 meters hurdles. 1 medal.
Yay.
Because I saw the Jamaican, there's a Jamaican lady, I saw her time. You know, the Jamaicans had their own Olympic qualifier. I saw her time. That girl is fast though.
Toby's up to it.
So I'm just waiting to see. Toby's coach is also of Jamaican descent, so she's taught her the right techniques. but that girl is fast. That girl beats even the world record holder. That girl is not world record holder, world record champion. Because Toby Amuso is a world record holder. So I'm waiting to see how it pans out for Toby. But yes, we have already put one medal from 100 meters hurdles as we are like this.
And yet they tell me not to count my chicks before they are hatched and see what Tega
I'm counting my own. I'm counting my own. If you like, don't count your own.
Tega's already learned the new anthem for when Toby is standing on that podium.
You don't know what's happening. And we'll play it Fuji style.
Don't know.
All right, Lando Norris has accused Max Verstappen, his friend and now closest rival, of unfair driving that was just a bit reckless and a little bit desperate after a no-holds-barred battle for victory at the Austrian Grand Prix ended in a collision that wrecked both of their races.
Good morning to Lando Norris. So let me give you the paint the background picture. So this is the Austrian Grand Prix, and Max Verstappen and Lando Norris are at the front of the pile, and Lando Norris is clearly faster because obviously Verstappen, first of all, was struggling with something. Earlier on, he was saying it was his gear, and they were telling him, leave it on 7. He was like, 7 is not working very well. They're like, leave it there. Don't touch any more buttons. So he was struggling with that. But a lot of cars were also struggling with their tire management. And for some reason, McLaren's tire management seemed to be the best. But a lot of other cars were struggling with their tire management. And so Verstappen was, even if he had built like a 6-second lead at the head of the race, he was struggling, and so Lando was closing in on that. And then both of them decided to go in and change tires. And then Verstappen had a slow pit stop because his back tire did not come off quickly. And so he came out. So his 6 second was literally wiped out from 6 seconds to 2 seconds as they were coming out of the pit lane, both of them. And like I said, Lando was quicker. So Lando started catching up, and Lando was about to overtake. Now, for those of us that have been watching Verstappen since he was born, we were telling Lando, this boy does not race fairly. They're like, no, he's not aggressive. He's just competitive. You know how they excuse bad behavior. So on the track, you could tell that Verstappen was not going to let Lando pass. But Lando was faster, and there were openings for Lando to take advantage of it. And this was for race win that both of them were competing for. It was not just ordinary racing on the track. It was about maybe eight more laps to the end of the race, about 8 more laps, and then they were racing for the race lead. So Lando now starts chasing down Verstappen. He sees the opportunity to go through. Verstappen starts braking multiple times. In the braking lane, he's not allowed to do that. He's allowed to make one move and then move straight. He was making several moves. Lando reported the first time. He reported the second time. They're like, oh, they're noting it. And then the third time, Lando sees a space in the inner lane and he dives down. And Max Verstappen decides that instead of me to give up this space, both of us will crash. And Verstappen makes another move to block Lando off. He knocks Lando off the track, damages Lando's car. So Lando is now out of the race. Remember, this was the race to win the fight, the fight to win the race. So he knocks Lando off the track. Lando's car damages. He picks up some damage. And then George Russell, who was in a distant third, just minding his business and strolling, came up and won the race. But Verstappen was still able to finish in the points. Verstappen was still in the race, but Lando was completely out of the race. So he was now given a 10-second penalty. And that's how Lando now came into the press conference, and he was angry. But here's what was interesting. They had been telling them, remember when Lewis and Lando and Verstappen's issue was happening, all the young guys, Lando Norris, George Russell, what's the name of the Alex Albon, all the young guys, in their minds, they're just like, Lewis hasn't winning this. It's our turn to win. So even if they knew that Lando was at fault, they're just like, Lando he's aggressive. He likes to win. They just kept making excuses for him. And Lando used to say Max Verstappen is his best friend. Like, that's his best friend on track. And I was like, he's your best friend yet because you are behind him. When you start competing with him, you will know that he's not a good person. Anyway, Lando learned his lesson yesterday.
Yeah.
Bottom line, he was mad that it was irresponsible and he was desperate. And the rest of the world was like, welcome to the Verstappen show. So we're waiting to see now whether Lando is going to revenge, because Lando is nothing like Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton will be gracious, will be kind. But the next time Lando races with Verstappen, I cannot wait to watch that, because Lando is equally as ambitious as Verstappen is. And now he has the car.
All right, so still listening to the locker room on Smooth 98.1. Stay with us. The conversation continues shortly.
Yeah, really happy. Oh. What's happening today? What's happening, Zibby?
Zibby.
What did you say?
I said, what's happening? You're really happy today.
I was feeling that IBK spaceship boy. It made me want to do the bounce. This is the bounce.
I'm really.
Zibby,
just keep this energy till Friday, Sha. That's all we ask.
Yes.
That's all we ask. Let it last till Friday. You know how it goes. Like from Monday, it starts growing. It starts dipping like fuel in the tank. Exactly. I like money in your accounts this economy time.
Messages.
Omasss, bring us in.
It is still the locker room on Smooth 98.1 FM. Tega still here. We still got messages to pick up on YouTube. And you can race down to youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. You can see a live stream and go back to it when you want to. And of course, send us a WhatsApp message reacting to the sports stories on 0809 444 0981 will be where we read the messages. Tega, messages, stories, where would you go for?
Let's just go with one Euro story and then we'll take some messages.
All right, let's reach out to the gates right now. Gareth Southgate said on Sunday that he didn't feel ready for Euro 2024 elimination after Jude Bellingham's late heroics kept his team in the competition by the skin of the teeth.
Yes, so Jude Bellingham literally scored that equalizer as the last kick of the game. And that led to extra time. From there, you kind of knew that England was just going to have the extra quality of players to finish the match off. But it was a tough one. And like I said prior to the match, it was never going to be pretty. Because it's Gareth Southgate that's leading that team. You look at the English team everywhere, their players. I would say this, I understand the struggle with wanting to play certain players, but after you've played through the group stage, it's time to take a risk and make a change. Especially, why do I sound like Michael Jackson this morning? Especially with, the fact that you had one of the better draws playing against Slovakia. I don't know that Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham can play together in the English team and be effective, because Foden is going to come in. Foden had all season he'd been playing what Jude Bellingham is playing for Manchester City, for the Three Lions. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So for Manchester City, Phil Foden has been playing what Jude Bellingham is now playing with England side. And I don't think that he's versatile enough to just switch. He's not like Saka. Saka knows that he's a utility player. He's no longer one of the best wingers. They can wake up tomorrow morning and tell him to be goalkeeper. Saka is the guy that can. Yeah, in the match, he played two different roles. He was playing as a winger. Next thing, they brought him and said he should go and play the fullback. He can play anywhere. He's that guy, so he will know how to switch. I don't think Phil Foden has that switch in his brain just to automatically switch off. And so he doesn't give England the width that they need. He doesn't stretch England he doesn't help England stretch the pitch like an Anthony Gordon, who is a natural winger, would do. And I thought that Southgate was ready to try something new, but he wasn't, and he kept playing the game that they're playing, and so they were choking up the midfield and touching the ball a little bit too much, and Slovakia were sitting deep. They're like, there's no space for you to move. So the space that a Jude Bellingham and a Foden would have exploited is if they can stretch the pitch. But if they are all trying to go through that middle, there was no room. And so when Slovakia scored their goal, they just sat deep and continued to watch England frustrate each other. It was when that change happened, and there was this set piece that came in. Then Jude Bellingham was able to score that last minute goal, and then Harry Kane came and scored the winner. But even then, after he scored the winner, England were still under pressure from Slovakia. In fact, Slovakia had 2 opportunities where the ball could have ended up in the back of the net, and England were just lucky that those chances missed. So Southgate can make it look like it was part of their excellence that got them through, but no, it was pure luck. Pure luck. And now they face Switzerland next. So let's see how far luck can carry them.
Tega, you just mentioned Switzerland without even mentioning that they bundled out the defending champions.
We are going to get there now. There's a story at the bottom. We are going to get there. Yeah.
All right, now Spain came from behind to thrash Georgia and reach the Euro 2020 quarterfinals. Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, Nico Williams, and Dani Olmo all scored as Spain came from behind to beat surprise packages Georgia 4-1 at Euro 2024 on Sunday, and also set up a blockbuster quarterfinal against the hosts, Germany.
Now, let me tell you, Spain scored all goals in that match. So when you say they came from behind, they put themselves behind, and then they came from behind to beat them. You know, it's that thing that Usain Bolt was doing with Kevin Hart. He was like, I'll give you a 50-meter head start, right, and then I'll still beat you at the end of the race. Spain was astronomical on the day. It was beautiful to watch. Now, when the match started, you know how Georgia is. Georgia is the engine that could. Small country, small footballing nation, and they've just been outperforming themselves at this tournament. And they're playing beautiful football, expressive football. They're not afraid. And it's lovely to watch. But so when they set up against Spain, everybody thought, okay, maybe they were just a little to be conservative. And for the first few minutes of the match, it looked like a rubber-dub match. They were barely surviving. And then they had one break. Took the ball into the Spain 18-yard box, whipped that cross across the front of the goal, and they got an own goal. It was always going to be a goal. The question was who was going to score it. Was it going to be a Spanish player or a Georgian player? And the Spanish defender put the ball in the back of the net, so Georgia were ahead. But even when they went ahead, you knew that they were going to come back. They were not like England. Spain side plays brilliant football. They have this 16-year-old guy that has no respect in Yamin Lamal. They have another guy that, they sent from Ghana in Nico Williams, those guys are just running wild on the wings. And then you want to talk about the excellence and the quality of players they have in the midfield. Spain was always going to get back on the score sheet, and they did, scoring 4 goals. It could have been 6. So it could have been 6, yes, if Yamin Lamal had taken all his chances. So brilliant performance by Spain against Georgia. Georgia should be proud of themselves. They scored their first goal, they got their first win, and they made it to their first round of 16 at the same tournament. So fantastic performance by a small country. But for Spain, the next one now is Georgia. Because in as much as Spain has the good stars, you want to ask, do they have the tactics and the strategy to beat Germany? And I feel so sad that Germany and Spain are meeting at the quarterfinals. I think this should have been a semi-final match, but I will take it. So let's see Spain take on Germany, who have also been a brilliant side. The sad loss for the tournament is that one of the brilliant sides will drop. The good news is that one of the brilliant sides will move through. So let's see which one is more brilliant, Spain or Germany.
While we wait, Belgium must go into their Euro 2024 round of 16 with France full of belief if they are to stand a chance of progressing into the tournament, manager Domenico Tedesco said on Sunday.
Belgium haven't been brilliant, and with their golden generation, they are now looking for the last minute to get the gold. But they're going to face a French side that need to deliver, that need to now deliver on that favorite tag, because France hasn't played well at all. They have not scored at this tournament from open play. They have played 3 matches. This is a team that has Mbappe, Dembele, Griezmann, Giroud, Thuram, no goal from open play. It's one of the biggest shocks. So it is. I think this is when the Deschamps and his guys need to turn up. Already, there are talks about some big name players taking the back seats for the good of the team, and that's what I like to hear. It's something that Southgate will not try, but let's see if the Deschamps will try it, and just to get the best of his team. So France take on Belgium, and Belgium will have to come with a more brilliant result. Lukaku will try not to be offside today because we'll need one of his goals to at least count at this tournament. And that's the kind of position that Belgium is. Otherwise, they're out. So this one there's no second opportunity. This is win or go home. So yes, Belgium have to deliver on the goods. And there's no better time than now. Like I said, France is not the team that they could be. So if there was ever a time to beat the French, this is the time, and this is the tournament.
All right, Luciano Spalletti will stay on as Italy coach despite the Azzurri's humbling elimination from the Euro 2024. And this according to the country's football chief.
Yeah, and humbling is the exact word, because it's one thing to lose. It's another thing to lose without a whimper, like the way the Italians lost. Defending champions came up against Switzerland, and I didn't expect Italy to put on a brilliant performance. What I expected them to do was the Italian job: go there, play poorly, and come away with the result. So I was even expecting that at the end of this match, it will be they'll win by 1-0, or it will go into penalties and they'll win. I didn't expect the way that the Swiss completely tore them apart and could have completely destroyed them more. And it was not just that they gave up goals that Donnarumma could do nothing about. It was the fact that they had nothing going for them up front. Midfield completely destroyed. Forward play, nothing was happening. So the performance was poor. The result was poor. The body language of the players was poor. I've seen bad Italian performances. I've not seen bad Italian players' body language like this before. And so for them to say that they're keeping Spalletti on, it must be that they are assuming that it's the players that failed and not Spalletti, which is tricky for me, because I always feel that at the end of the day, the buck stops at the coach's desk. They were down by 1-0 at halftime. What did he tell them at halftime? That they came out and they considered goal in the first few seconds of the second half. So it's tricky to me that they still want to keep it on, but maybe they have a belief that there's something else he can do. But that performance was worthy of changing everybody. Change coach, change player, change even the people that are washing the plates that they had lunch with, because the performance was poor all around.
Final story, Argentina shrugged off the injury absence of Lionel Messi to maintain their perfect stats at the Copa America on Saturday with a 2-0 victory over Peru in Miami.
All right, they had already qualified for the quarterfinals, so resting a few players here and there was always the option. And Messi needed to rest, especially after the Chileans had kicked him left, right, and center. So he rested. Rodrigo de Paul was rested too. A couple other big name players, and Argentina still managed to do the work of getting the 2 goals that they need to keep their winning run going. So they through to the quarterfinals. Let's see how they perform there. All right. On that note, let's take the messages.
All right, messages. You would find Larry from the abroad waiting. Mad Max is back. No movement in the braking zone was introduced because of Max. Looks like 3 world championship does not change the makeup of the man. And now even his good mate is not spared the treatment. Max has once again deferred to a strategy of mutual assured destruction to ultimately protect his lead like it did with Lewis in 21. In all the drama, well, he has finished above a Red Bull. That's which way Perez, Larry from the abroad. And Emeka tells me this one saying Gareth Southgate has to be the luckiest manager in the world right now. He has been giving us Finidi vibes all the tournament. At some point, he was confused, switching Bukayo to left back. England will be lucky to beat Switzerland in the quarterfinals. As Tayo says, with all these discussions about bonus, we don't have a coach. England struggled against Slovakia and they claimed their favorite. Bellingham's goal just made it right, light of a bad performance. I wish them all the best because it's definitely not coming home. And AY from Oniru's message is saying here, England were saved by the clutch movement from Bellingham and Harry Kane. Unfortunately, Southgate still wouldn't learn from yesterday's mistake. I don't think they will be lucky again in the quarterfinals. As for Spain, Lamil and Nico are giving me much joy. And to YouTube we go. We see Padre POS saying, remember how Tega always said the English team was like giving a Ferrari to a toddler. How do they like their Southgate? Isn't it time to show him the Northern Gate nonsense and lions? And then Abiodun Obisheson says, Abiodun says, forget all these England hype boys. It's not coming home anytime soon. Switzerland will boogie them out. For me, Spain is the team to beat. Congratulations to Toby. And who else? Uchenna Wokoye says, Foden should not be starting. Saka at left back, Gordon on the left, or Eze, Cole Palmer on the right. They need pace and bravery, but Southgate keeps putting on the shackles. England can do better. That's what he says here. So
one day people will start Saka in goalkeeping role. I've said it. When Saka wakes up in the morning, that's when he will know which kind of footballer he is. All right. On that note, I want to thank you for sending your messages to YouTube, Tega. Your messages to YouTube. Thank you for sending your messages to WhatsApp. Thank you for tuning in and listening to us on Smooth 98.1 FM. Hopefully, when we come your way again on Wednesday, we'll have some teams that were knocked out and some teams that stayed in. For now, it's bye.